VK2 Zulu Fox, V2 Delta Lima Japan and Company. VK2 Zulu Fox, V2 Delta Lima Juliet and Company. VK.
That's something I never use.
You call yourself a radio operator?
No, I don't.
Yeah, I was right. You're limited to 50 watts on 1.25 meters. He says he's running 400 watts in his station on that.
Alright.
Amateur stations are limited to 50 watts PEP out.
Probably cheap price.
Yeah, we had a printing plant. They closed the plant I worked at and moved it to Mexico. And they flew the guys in helicopters from Texas to work where this plant was built because it was unsafe to leave the premises of the...
Under my older son's place, caring for the two older girls, while Eric and Katie are with Fiona, the youngest one, out in Waterloo. She's playing reggae out there. There's finals or whatever, so they're out there, and I guess they're coming back sometime probably later this afternoon or the evening, something like that. And Joanne will be coming back here with the girls late afternoon, as they have they also play reggae, of course, and they have another.
It's a streaming service, and I ended up getting it because watching on YouTube stuff. You know how YouTube stuff pops up, and it was a movie, clips of a movie, and I forgot the name of it, but it was a World War II movie, and it said at the end you can watch the whole thing there on Curiosity Stream, and they have a special on, and it was $9.95 I think for a year. So I subscribed to it, and there's documentaries and just a lot of really interesting stuff. If you guys just Google Curiosity Stream, you can see what's available there. And for us older guys, I'm telling you, yeah, there's a lot of really neat stuff on there. W9 AM. And U9M. EA3 KBC. I like a lot of the World War II stuff, and that has a lot of that in there.
Or as far as history?
Say again, Michael?
As far as history?
Yes. looking at their website. Do you just, when you're streaming stuff, watch it on your computer, or do you have an app on your TV that you also watch?
Right here, I promised her I'd cook her some eggs, so. So long, gentlemen. So long to you, Theodore. Toodaloo, Ted. Yeah, see you guys. We have been company listening. Fine. Well, I think I found Lever Rock's great right alongside that relay, and it burns up, and then the relay tips get all nasty. There's one monitor, 43-inch, and
Been quite a bit on 40 many years ago. Like I said, I lost touch. I used to enjoy the hell out of it. That's how I ran into you guys. That's one of the best things I ever did. Thanks for letting me in, fellas.
We used to be on 7228 on 40 meters. There's a big group of us, yeah.
Yeah, there's a group of fine gentlemen here.
That one works. I'll have to work on that easy school again sometime today. I'll have to call that up and see what's going on. What version of WSJTX are you using to cooperate with that?
I'm using 2.3.0.
5.4.
And I miss everybody in the morning, and I miss being home with all the birds. Put it that way.
Hey, you guys, your station's really good. I don't know how far apart you guys are to one another and what the band would play between you, but you, Paul, you, Fred, easy copy.
Hey, good morning, Michael. This is Milton in Northeast Ohio, WA8LCA.
You too, Milton. Ohio. Yeah. Making the same presence. Easy copy.
Good morning, Michael. The name is Thomas. I'm in Yorktown, Virginia, on the shoreline of the Chesapeake Bay.
Oh, Thomas, it's pretty over there. Speaking of travel, my wife and I flew into Virginia with a little old RV to see what's that living? It's a living museum.
That or your computer. So that's what we did. So after the TV show there years ago, we named ours Rosie. Now, and Rosie does a great job. And I know I've heard Elaine say how much she enjoys Maggie. I mean, turn the thing on, let it loose, and an hour later you got clean floors, and it runs all around the first floor of our house. So it works very well. Little Mikey spent the night here last night. The dreaded disease, I don't know what it is, but it just does not seem to want to go away. Mikey had it for a second time a week or so ago. Then Kim had it, and now Michael, my son, he didn't work all week. He had it. Martha is telling me this morning she feels like she's getting it again. And she and Becky never really got rid of it. They kept the cough for 3 weeks. So, well, we'll see how that goes. But Kim had.
She said she showed him that. She said she was looking all friendly and sexy like I was like, see, there, you have a great signal in the Reading as usual, and very, very nice audio.
Well, thank you much, Al. Well, that solves that mystery, and glad you got that sorted.
Football. I don't want to be doing that again today. Honored one that someone said, yep. One end goes to the Collins, the other end goes to.
I'll tell you, from the CW portion all the way up to FM was active yesterday. It was very.
And I'll make up flour and egg batter and have.
Wait.
Oh my God! Can't imagine.
How much coffee you'd have to have for that trip?
100 gallons of coffee extract.
No kidding.
A day.
Oh, well. Search out all of her music later and learned what she loved the most. And this particular song was quoted directly by Mark Hurd in that song. And especially verses 5, Eric's verse, his anger endureth for a moment, in his favor is life. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy cometh in the morning. And then Dell's verse 11, thou hast turned for me my mourning into dancing. Thou hast put off my sackcloth and girded me with gladness. So the Lord wrote on our hearts those words.
That's the small loop right there. And small loop, chase, tuners.
That's pretty much right.
So anyway, we'll call the net different segments. I will open with a prayer here in just a short. John will do a devotional for us. And then we'll do
The coast of the
United Kingdom I never heard of. All kinds of weird stuff coming in.
Looks like
KK111.
Didn't snow or anything. It looks pretty calm out there. And hopefully it'll be a sunny day. Now, the E2A RGB, E2I.
Two Delta Charlie. We got two takers there. I think it's II is in there.
yes, sir.
Pick up Brian, give it to Mel, and then Mel, if anybody else is there, I'm gonna go on the to get busy. Mine is 24 here this morning. Yeah, we're always listening in the morning. We don't always come in the afternoon. Go ahead, Brian. Good morning to you.
Okie dokie, helmet. You got a nice big signal. I can hear you just fine. Perfectly. And you were talking about a microphone there, Claude. What type of mic is it? Just curious, that's all. I didn't get that part. I was trying to start my wood stove behind me here, so I heard you talking about the microphone. And good morning there, Mel. And I'll turn it over to you right now. The E2II. Take it away, Mel.
Oh, good morning, Nick. So I'll turn it over to you, Nick, and I assume it's back to he was the first one I heard when I walked in here. He might be somebody before, I'm not sure. You can check.
And every time there was a new one, we would try it. And the food was always wonderful. I mean, these guys were really good. But they'd all go bankrupt in about a year. So I don't know. I think it takes a hell of a lot to know how to run a restaurant, you know?
Well, if I've learned anything from watching Restaurant Impossible, that's the one takeaway I've always had, is that you may know how to cook. That don't mean you know how to run a restaurant and price your food. There is so much involved in doing that, and I just love it when people buy restaurants. Oh, well, I'm a good cook. My wife's a good cook. We're going to buy a restaurant, and they don't know the first thing about buying a restaurant, and they go belly up.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely true. I knew my wife was friends with a woman whose husband ran a restaurant, and she said he's amazing. She said he knows how many potatoes to order every day, and I don't know how he knows, but he always gets it right. Well, and they had a very successful restaurant.
The place that the local restaurant that we like to go to, it's only open 3 days a week now after Corona. Family-run business. The matriarch just passed away. The patriarch had been dead for several years. One of the sisters runs it, and one of the other sisters is the chef. And the sister that's the chef went to Culinary Institute, as did her sister. So when you go there and you get food, you get really good food.
Well, the closest thing I guess I've got to that is doing this men's breakfast at church once a month.
Yeah, well, at least you have some idea month to month how many people you're going to have and how much to buy. But it probably took you a while to get used to that, right?
Well, I consulted with a couple of friends who own restaurants,
Ah, good move.
To, kind of get an idea that's, for example, basically two pieces of bacon per person, scrambled eggs. They want to be in 2 to 3 per person, and so on and so on and so on. Probably what's it take? Probably, it's like.
What's the interval between messages? I assume it goes back to receive and then switches to transmit again and continues broadcasting the same message, correct?
Yeah, that's the easy part, between 1 and 60 seconds. It's the duration of the message that it plays. It only plays for like 10 minutes or something like that, and then it stops, maybe 15 minutes. I didn't really time it. But it won't play for 5 hours or 6 hours or, 24 hours.
But what happens if someone comes back to that beacon? How would you know if it's transmitting?
Oh, it's supposed to be one way, a beacon, it's like a propagation beacon. Do you follow me there?
So people will hang out until you come on?
Well, I don't know. I mean, my understanding of a beacon is, you set it up for low power and you program your call sign, your grid square, maybe a couple of V's, and your town or whatever you want to put in there, a short message. And then it just plays every minute.
The propagation checker, Richard, so that people, if they start hearing, Guthrie'sburg, Pennsylvania, they'll know that the East Coast has propagation on whatever band he's sending a beacon out on.
Okay. Is this really a beacon mode, or are you just using a voice memory on repeat?
No, it actually says beacon mode in it, in the manual.
I wonder if the 101 has it. I never looked. Not that I'd be interested in using it, but I can't see dedicating a $5,000 radio to a beacon.
Yeah, no, that's the same thing here. It's this is not cheap, nowhere near that price. But I guess if you wanted to leave it on while you went to work, the band was open or something. I don't know. Whatever reason you want to have one on.
I wouldn't want to leave my $1,000 plus radio running all day for that kind of operation. Well, what happens, I think, you get engineers that order a new kind of integrated chip, and on one of the legs, you can put a beacon. So while they're at it, they might just as well put the beacon mode on also. I think a lot of that stuff happens. Anyway, it's kind of interesting. I'll look it up. One of these days, I'll look up beacon mode.
Yeah, I'm just going to open the manual and get the page out, but don't feel like you have to get your book or anything.
Yeah, I mean, come on. I can't see myself, though, having this radio transmit all day.
Yeah, the 101 has a beacon mode, too.
Huh?
Yeah, that's basically what it is. It's meant to use the radio as a beacon. That's a lot of radio to be dedicating to a beacon.
Sure is.
Yeah, I just don't understand why it doesn't continually operate until you come back in and turn it off.
Do you have the screensaver on?
No, I don't have the screensaver on.
Does that radio have a timeout timer? I'd assume that would only work on continuous transmission, but just curious if you have one set and what's its time limit.
Yeah, it has a timeout timer, but it's off.
Kenny, I'm going to lay a problem on you. I hope you can have an answer for me. Are you ready for this? Or too early? Who are you addressing it to, sir?
To you.
Oh, I'm sitting down. Let me get my seatbelt.
Okay, let me know when you're ready.
Go ahead.
Okay, this is all theoretical. Now, of course, I'm on 14.200, and I have an SWR of 4, and I have 100 feet of RG213. How much am I losing with an SWR of 4 and 100 feet of RG213 on 14.2?
We got to look at the attenuation number, Rich.
Stuff, but anytime it's less than or greater than 1 to 1, you're losing power. Obviously, you know that. What you could do is, well, first of all, my question is, why is your SWR so high?
If it's 4 or if
and
it's
have you
8.
verified that your transmission line is good?
Hell of a lot.
Like putting
I would like to see what
seeing what it looks
with.
like without the antenna. I
Right,
forget the 100-foot loss for that 213, but it's probably in the order of 3 dB without looking it up.
W2FM. Rich, I tried to tell you it was 2 dB.
No, 2 dB. Oh, the loss is 2 dB, Jim?
Yeah, I told you. You asked me that yesterday.
Okay, I didn't realize I asked you that question.
You can find Rich an RFI calculator online. They're very simple, and then you just plug in your parameters, your standing wave, your frequency. I think it needs velocity factor, the feed line, and length.
Yeah, I don't know where that. I remember looking at that 100 years ago. I don't remember where that all is now.
A radio data book that's got that in, all that stuff in there.
Yeah, thanks, Jim.
This is a Jessup book. I don't know if you guys have got this or not. It's put out by the Radio Society of Great Britain Radio Data Reference Book by Jessup.
Oh, 2 dB at 100, that's really not, it's not that significant.
I don't really want to run my amplifier into a 4-to-1 match.
What antenna are you connected to at that SWR?
A dipole cut for 75 meters.
Oh, okay.
Richard, there's a very interesting website that I just found that will give you that answer. You tell it what cable, what line length in feet, what's the frequency that you're at, what's the loaded SWR, in this case 4 to 1, and power. What do you power? How much power into the cable?
Okay, well, I don't know. I just wanted to know what the percentage of loss is, but the power also. What is that website?
I'll send it to you. Based on 100 watts on the data that I just gave you, 213, 100 feet of coax at 14.2 megahertz with a 4 to 1 SWR is a 1.404 dB loss.
Okay, that's really negligible.
Well, yeah.
Okay, let's. Have you got that in front of you right now?
I do.
Okay, go to an SWR of 8.
2.346 dB loss.
Yeah.
Your power out will be 58.26 watts.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the amazing part, to watch what your 100 watts goes down to. And that's that they figure that output is at the antenna.
I'll send the page out to the group.
So it's really, we get all excited about SWR, and it really is. I guess what I'm, here's what the thought behind this is I'm thinking very seriously about getting a remote antenna, a transmatch, and put it at the base of the antenna. But when you think of $800 for one of those, and you think you're going to save 2 dB, it's not worth it. You're not going to see a difference.
Not on these frequencies, you won't.
No. I saved $800. I don't know where I'm going to spend it now.
Yeah, how good a radiator of a 75-meter dipole is at 14 megahertz. I'd have to look at the chart, but I don't know that that's good. It's not harmonically related, so I think that's where your problem is.
Say that again. I didn't hear the beginning of that.
In essence, a 75-meter antenna is not a good radiator for 14 meg signal. I mean,
no.
Will
you mean a quarter wave vertical or a quarter wave antenna for 40 meters?
It's Sunday. We're doubling.
Yeah, well, we do that every day now. Yeah, there's no way around the doubling thing unless we have round tables. If you'd like to have a round table, that's something else. But if you don't have a round table, you're going to double.
Sometimes I wonder if that high, I mean, it's not too high, but it's high enough. Would it cause, if you had the potential for RFI, for a little bit of a nasty sounding audio, or maybe getting into something in the house, who knows, maybe putting some lines on your computer screen, stuff like that. I mean, it is coming back down. And again, it could do nothing at all, RFI is a tricky thing.
Well, I don't right now. Right now, I have a non-resonant antenna, really, with an antenna tuner. Right now, I'm on. Let me see. I'm on the dipole, and I'm at. I didn't do it for 75 meters, but I'm tuning the dipole. It's a non-resonant dipole, and it seems to work out pretty well here. So that's what got me going, and when you can't sleep at night, you keep going over these things, or I do anyway. I become obsessive with them, as you can tell. As you very well know, Jim, I do. I keep going over it.
Can you throw off a 20-meter dipole? That 20 meters isn't too big of an antenna. I mean, what is it, 33 feet or 34 feet, tip to tip?
No, dipole for 20 meters is about 13 feet.
On one side, yeah. No, I mean, 40 is 66, and half of that is 33. So, yeah, I mean, 20 meters end to end would be 30. And we're doubling.
I said I'm thinking of a monopole.
Well, most tuners work better if the aerial's longer than the frequency you're interested in.
Well, I don't think I'm getting one of those antenna matches because if I go out and spend that and I put it on a monopole, and I don't think I'm going to say, wow, what a difference.
Is this to cure the 40-meter issue with the computer upstairs?
No, because I've got that on the vertical on 75. I wouldn't on 75. The vertical on 40. And it's cut for 40, and it's away from the house, and it works better than the dipole does. So I don't need it for that. I would like to have something that would work better on 20 and on 15 and on 18. And to that end, Anthony, is why I was thinking about that.
Yeah. Well, the 80-meter OCF is good on 80. 40, 20. No problem there. Minimal tuning needed. You'll have probably 1.5 to 1 SWR if you go from 80 to 40 if it's an 80-meter OCF. Yeah, about 1.5 to 1, the same on 20 meters. The problem comes in is when you go to 15 or 17, anything like that. That's where you're going to see much, much higher voltages on the line, and the SWR is very high. You'd have to definitely use a tuner there. And you'd have to reduce your power output, otherwise you'll cook the balance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sometimes you think you can make yourself an antenna that does all things to all frequencies, and it's really it's physically impossible.
Well, the biggest problem is these radios are so damn sensitive to Visware now that if you haven't got a good match, they kick out.
Uh-huh.
It's not even so much the radio, Jim. It's the solid-state amplifiers. Well, those too. But the radio themselves have Visware protection, and the newer amps have Visware protection. So you can't run them into a crap load. So yeah, you could put something up there, Richard. To accommodate that. But like I said, do you have an OCF, Richard, with a 4-to-1 balance?
Yes, I do.
Oh, okay. So then you know that already about 15 and 17 meters.
Oh yeah, I've done. I'm really. When I told you, I think I told you sometime this week that I got on 20 and I was enjoying it. And so when you start to enjoy something, you say, "Gee, I think I'll get this to work better." And so it makes my head crazy to think about it. And so that's why I'm doing this. I ran all these tests of SWR on different bands and got me thinking of how can I get a better 20-meter antenna. And the bottom line is I can't really do a hell of a lot more than what I'm doing.
Well, you have to define better. I mean, better meaning, okay, you're getting a dB and a half extra if you do this, that, or the other thing. I mean, is it worth the amount of money you're going to spend to get that dB and a half? And what's the clinically significant difference you're going to see on the far end? Probably not much.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what is hitting me in the head. Jim mentioned it yesterday. I would mention it again today. And so, after a while, I'll smarten up and say, don't spend the money on it because you're not going to have any improvement. Yeah, I'm sure there's an improvement, but I'm not going to be able to quantify that.
This is part of the same rationale in determining and deciding whether you're going to get the Lux or the Mercury 3.
Yeah, exactly.
Difference.
And on the other hand, it is a hobby, and depending on how much into the hobby you are, or how, if I were into DXing, I would say, well, yeah, of course, I'd save a dB. It's worth it, of course. But I'm not into that at this point.
But even still, even if you were, that extra dB on the receiving end, on the far end. I mean, if they
YBH, I was on 160 with him for about 45 minutes last night, Claude, and the amp was working perfect. So there you go on that part. Just to let you know, I was on the 160 with him last night, and Steve dropped in, but he had to go away, so he only dropped in for a couple of minutes. So there you are on that. And yeah, we got a lot of snow here. Banister and pull it off that small roof. The roof is 33 feet long, and I had to pull it off with my roof rake onto the deck and then push it off. So we had a lot of snow. And no, I don't do the incline going up to the mountain at all. So all you do is walk up through the snow. And then the man does the driveway up on top where you park the cars. So I don't do that. That's for damn sure. But I have enough snow here to do. Yesterday I did that one roof and took it off the deck, and then I went and did my roof where my tractor is. And then I came back off of that. So today I got to do the workshop and the two little roofs where I put my wood. So I'll do those today. So there you go on that. It's always something to do up north, I'll tell you. But we did get at least altogether, I would say, a foot. I mean, I'm just guessing. I did not measure it with a tape measure. But one good thing about it all, I wasn't like Mel. Mel got sort of water in his. Up here was just fluffy snow. So when I was pushing it off the deck, it was very easy to do. You just take your time, but it was easy to do. It was not heavy. And I don't have to lift it when I push it off the deck. The deck is 8 feet in the air. So there you go on that part. Okay, Mel, it's coming back to you. And, you want to know what type of heating? Okay. Baseboard heaters throughout the house, but they're all set at a certain temperature, 55 degrees. I never touch them. I don't turn them up and I don't turn them down. When I get up in the morning, I start my wood stove and that takes over. So the baseboard heaters throughout the house are set at roughly 55 to 57 degrees. So there you go with that part. Back to you there, Mel, the 2i.
Ooh, 55 degrees. That's kind of nippy. Geez, people are sleeping bag. You better have a big comforter on that bed. But I don't like it too warm when I'm sleeping. If it gets too warm, I just stick a leg out to kind of cool off, like a radiator. Linda likes it to be warm. I prefer it a little bit cooler, but not too cold. No, I mean, if it gets too cold, you start to get chilly, which is not amenable to unbothered sleep. But speaking of sleep, geez, I had a good night's sleep last night. Not last night, but the night before, I stayed up pretty late. I have a new computer, a new laptop. Paid enough for the damn thing from HP. It's a nice one, a little compact Spectra X360. It's a really, really nice computer, but I was loading all software up on it, and I probably spent a couple of days doing it. I don't know if any of you guys have ever done that. You know, they have this reset on your computer, but it basically clears everything but the operating system and Microsoft apps, and you have to start over again. And I've been putting stuff onto that computer for a couple of days, and I installed an old version of Adobe, who is now banned from all future computers. Adobe
Kennel Cough developed in the groomers area. Well, not in the groomers area, but in the facility, and they have a place where, you know, if you want to groom your dog and then leave them for half a day at day camp, you can socialize with other dogs. Right now, that's shut down for over a month now because of a kennel cough. But the only thing they're doing is grooming in and out. That's something serious. I was a little concerned to hear about that.
Yeah, it spreads like wildfire.
Yeah, kennel cough on an older dog isn't good.
I keep my dog vaccinated for that.
Yeah, whatever strain that they happen to encounter, I guess they can identify it. The current vaccine that they're using for Bordetella, it doesn't address this one too well, so that's why they've dropped the daycare. That's going to put a big chunk of money in, or take a big chunk of their revenue away until they really clean up the facility.
I wonder how you do that.
I don't know. Good question. And this place has swimming facilities for rehabilitation, or if your dog just likes to swim, they can swim indoors. They have indoor all kinds of rooms for different sized dogs. You name it, they have it. It's a really big place.
What do they charge a day to take care of the dog?
It's a little over $100 for grooming and half a day of camp. That's for small dog.
Well, I groom Tony. I do it myself. I have since he was a puppy.
I'm thinking about getting a decent set of clippers and put it on the highest setting and get Bella a bath and dry her off and then to try it myself, because it's getting more and more expensive as time goes on.
Well, if you decide to do it, check in with me before you buy anything.
Okay, I'll do that.
I can tell you the number of blades depending on what you want.
Yeah, especially in the summer, she's a dog that has to be groomed because her fur constantly grows, and in the summer it's murder on her when she's right there before the appointment.
Well, if you want to cut her down so that her fur is approximately 3/4 of an inch long all over her body, a number 3 blade in an Oster clipper will do it.
What if you, it's like the crew cut style almost, except for her ears and her tails. Tail.
Think of a number 3 blade. That's a good place to start.
Okay.
Tails? Has that dog been near the reactor again?
I said tails, didn't I? I don't know what made me say that. She has more than one.
You might want to check yourself out in the mirror, Ted.
Oh, man. I can't talk too well. I'm still sick. This damn COVID. I felt really good yesterday afternoon. We set some dinner out and some chops to thaw, and had some rice and a salad, and everything was good. And then about a half hour after dinner, I was like, oh man, I just right back again, just achy and ugh. It doesn't go away.
Well, Rich, we groomed dogs here for too many years. Diane had Afghan hounds, and then she had Lauchens, and now we got cats.
Well, that's a little bit easier.
What do you charge for like a big dog, like a hound, that Afghan hound? That's a full size dog. What would he get? Like $200 per groom?
I don't know. Lately, we used to do it all here. Well, I didn't. Diane did. But oh yeah, the bigger the dog, bring more money.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Well, I've never had my dog groomed by anybody but me, and I do it every 3 weeks, at the most 4 weeks. He's got hair, and it gets long quickly, and his muzzle needs to be cut, etc. So it takes me an hour and a half, 2 hours to do it.
No, she used to go to all the dog shows, and I went to a few dog shows. Can't say they're the most popular place, but once in a while they're okay.
Okay, well, your grooming expertise, I think, is better than mine. I've been doing it a long time, but every time I do it, I keep thinking there's a better way of doing this, or I should have done it a little bit different. I don't have it down that well yet.
Well, what's really good is the grooming tables we used to have. They're really good to put radios on now.
Oh, radios, you say, on the grooming table?
Yeah, they stand up real high. Matter of fact, one of the TV sets is sitting on one in front of me here.
Uh-huh.
By the way, I don't know if anybody's monitoring the solar flux. It's over 200 now. It's 228. So it's way up there.
I would say that, yeah.
Yeah, it was that way too yesterday. Yesterday was all kinds of DX.
Yeah, well, you're going to see higher bands opening up here. So yeah, 228, 11, and 4 is not bad conditions at all for 228.
Does it still say minor blackout?
I don't know yet. I got to look at the different area for that.
Oh, okay, yeah, we saw that on BE7 yesterday. With those numbers late in the evening. I went blackouts with that kind of number.
Yeah, it says moderate with G1 R2, minor to G1 R1.
Okay.
Nothing about blackouts.
I was working Iceland yesterday, which was unusual because I don't ever really hear them. He was 20 over on 17. There was some activity on 10. I was able to do FM to Spain on simplex frequency. I think it was 29.2 something. It was really good propagation.
You speak of propagation, and something like this morning, with all of you that are on right now, and with the conditions, it's incredible receive on HF on this band, and it's the audio on everybody is so good and so clean. And D1L, good morning. Good. Speaking of good morning, audio, good morning, Jess.
Good morning, Jess.
It is really crappy out here. Yeah, it's been like that here too. It's supposed to go through tomorrow afternoon, which means I may get deferred again. Leaving here. Oh boy, we'll see.
Tell them the solar flux is up. You got to go.
That's right. Bring that ferry over here.
There you go.
So that if it's supposed to be crappy today, that cinches it. I don't think I'm going to the annual meeting of the Portuguese Water Dog Club. Up in Franklin, I don't think I want to drive in miserable weather. The dog's going to be very disappointed. Well, I didn't tell him yet, Oh, you're mean. Because he might have heard me talking with my wife. Yeah, well, that wouldn't surprise me at all. The one we had was very bright. I suspect though, they're really, really very smart. But I suspect that a border collie might be a little smarter. It's a different IQ.
Morning, K1TA.
Morning, Tom.
Morning, Tom.
Good morning, Tom.
Howdy.
By the way, I just gave up 40 yesterday after the guy kept playing recordings.
Yeah, same thing happened with Rich, Nick, and I.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Yeah, it had Muffle Man on there.
Yeah, I don't know, but for some reason we get on 40 and we certainly do attract them. That's because they're there. That's like putting meat into the water when you know there are sharks around.
That's the way it is with these people that keep going to the Quick Mart and they leave their car running to go in, and then somebody steals it.
Uh-oh, gee, what a surprise!
That's right, and then they're
the
surprised.
cops keep telling them, don't do that.
Maybe they bought the cars that don't have on-off switches.
Well, somebody took off with one of them with the kids in the car.
Oh boy!
A 3-year-old and a 6-year-old. Somebody stole the car off some woman that stopped. Luckily they found it real quick with the kids. But my God!
Yeah, how can you be so irresponsible as to leave an unlocked car with kids in it running and step away from it? I mean, even at gas stations, when you're getting gas and you got kids in the car, you lock the car.
I don't know. People do it all the time.
Maybe they're tired of the children.
They just do it all the time. They got up in Rochester. They leave their cars unlocked. They leave the garage door opener in the car. Then people come and they steal them blind. And they don't think anything of it. And the cops say, don't do that.
Have to tell them not to do it. That's like
people have
don't walk in front of the speeding
some kind
train.
of fear about locking anything.
Yes, you have to tell them, otherwise it becomes a very litigious situation.
How dare they? That's right. Their lawyer will say that it was your fault.
It's your responsibility to tell them to be careful.
Tell them not to leave their kids in there.
Right.
Most stores, at least one door.
The guy is above it and not below her and doesn't make it.
God, I love a triple.
Don't do it.
It might have been a fourple.
Yeah, I think it was a fourple. Good morning, all. W1UX. What fun.
Good morning, Al.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning, Al.
Good morning, gentlemen. You too, Jesse.
Oh, well, are you implying that I'm not a gentleman? Thank you.
En garde, monsieur.
En garde. Merci bien, monsieur. There is my épée.
On the wall, my boy.
Uh-huh. Those are my dueling sabers.
Yes, under your family shield.
Right.
Al, you have the same high-quality signal that everybody else has today.
Thank God. Otherwise, I wouldn't dare to sign in here.
I'm trying to create a family shield. Just a minute. O-rings.
Well, wait a minute. QAR's not here yet.
Oh, darn. Oh, nobody's tuned up on frequency thus far.
No, I didn't either. I went off frequency to tune up.
I tuned up on 3760.
Yeah, I tuned up off frequency.
I go at least 4 kc off.
Well, in Ted's case, with the antenna that he has, he's got to retune on frequency. It's only about 1 kc wide.
I know, it's incredible.
Nobody really ever noticed.
Oh, Jess, it looks like there's a lot of rain by you.
Whom are you speaking?
To you.
Oh my God, yes, it has. It's been raining and wicked windy all night long. Everything was banging around.
Yeah, it looks like it's coming out of the east. It just keeps spinning over Nantucket.
That's correct, and it's not supposed to be finished until about 10 a.m. tomorrow.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I was just looking up the weather, and we're going to have a nice sunny day here today.
Oh, it's warm here. It's, I think, in the 40s here.
29 in Connecticut. 33.4 here in Rhode Island.
28 on the button here.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Hey, Jess. Jess.
Guess he's not hearing me.
What's that?
Guess you're not hearing me.
I am hearing you, but your voice is low in the morning, and without the highs, my ears don't work that well.
Do you hear that your brother-in-law has COVID?
Yes, I knew that before you did, actually. It's unusual.
Boy,
Usually
that
the,
fell off the Virginia coast. Woo!
He's not my brother-in-law, thank you.
You keep on referring to him as your brother-in-law.
He's my almost brother-in-law.
Hello, gentlemen. A3TS Mobile, North White Plains, New York.
Morning. How you doing, Bill?
Well, I'm going to do some speed skating with the team, and Jeff, I might get a shot later today to go flow karting, field number 1, Jones Beach. Vehicle with a sail, and you go zipping along the pavement. So we'll see if that pans out.
Oh, it's not raining there? God be praised.
No, I think we're finished with the rain as of yesterday. Just it flew out. We've had a lot of wind, very windy.
Not here.
How about that?
Oh my God! It's Sunday, so we got to have a sermon.
But good to hear you guys are all very strong. I just checked into the graveyard net and came down here to say hello.
Very good. Well, I lied about the temperature. It's actually 38.
Yeah, we've got 25 here. We're going to have good hard ice for speed skating, so I'll take it. We had mush a couple of weeks ago.
Very nice. We have a lot of wind here today.
Jesse, who are you talking to?
I'm talking to AA2TS, who is Mobile and White Plains, New York.
Oh, okay. I don't hear him.
You don't hear him? Well, apparently he only purchased the short-range antenna. Well, he's mobile. He's mobile, Al. That's the reason.
Yeah, I could hear him in the background, but that's about it. Okay, no problem.
Well, it's the superlative antenna that I'm using.
You mean, Jeff, I can buy a long-range antenna? I didn't know that.
Yes, but it is 60 feet tall, and you can't drive around too easily with them.
You coat that with whale oil, don't you, Jesse?
Well, of course, just like I lubricate my watches.
Yeah, you dip the whole watch in a vat of whale oil, yeah.
That's right.
Well, that mobile station's S7 here in Rochester. It's a fairly good signal.
W1WR.
Good morning, Rob.
Well,
Good morning, Rob.
You're S9 here.
Morning,
we were,
Rob.
Just up by
Good morning, Rob.
a month ago for the New York State.
All right, I'm saying it. Good morning, Rob.
Daughters couldn't convince anybody in my
This is
family
worse than the
they were
Waltons.
leaving to go see the 6 to 7 feet of snow they got in Buffalo.
Bill's
Yeah,
still talking.
Bill, very few of us are actually hearing you. I'm sorry.
Put more
Yeah,
quarters
no
in the
worries,
machine,
Jeff.
Bill.
I'll
Good
take
morning,
it.
everyone.
Good to hear you guys. Very strong.
Mobile Silly, I can't cut it today. Yeah, it's just not working today, Rob. I don't know. I mean, Bill, I hear you okay, but nobody else does. I'm sorry.
Well, he's fine here.
You guys have fun. I'll catch up.
All right, have a great day, Bill. Enjoy the skating.
Meet over here, Bill. Take care.
And take pictures of the blow karting later. Excellent fun.
Yep, 73, Bill. Yeah, you sound fine here in Rochester. W2RFM.
Oh, he's in New York, so of course you would hear him, Jim.
Well, it depends on his distance.
I know, I'm just kidding.
He's not that far away from me, and I don't hear him.
He's paying a heavy tax to reach him.
It's the special Nantucket receiving area that we have here.
I think it is. You guys pay in taxes, and they give it to you.
That's right. We pay extra for that.
Yeah. And then it's an ICOM radio.
Well, it's true. He is using an ICOM radio too.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey, which is the radio of the month this month? I mean, it changes all the time, I know.
I think he's using a 7,000. That makes sense. 7,200, I forget.
I think it's a 7610 now.
7610. Okay, I thought maybe it was the FT10.
So that was last month.
That was last month and the month prior.
Let me make a correction on my logbook here.
There you go.
And soon it's going to be whatever that SDR radio that John is getting.
Anon? Is it an Anon?
No, it's not an Anon. It's some other weird name.
The only one I ever heard of, the first one from whom I heard about an Anon actually was Rob.
That's the Andromeda.
The Andromeda, that's it. That's the one that he's getting, the Andromeda. But yeah, I was going to get the Anon a long time ago. I was making that potential switch to the SDL radio, but I'm glad I didn't.
That's made by Anon, the Andromeda.
Gary Little has an Anon, but something in the software went and it's not worth repairing.
Well, it's in the garbage.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
The Anon is only $3,000, the 7,000 DLE. Son of a gun.
Oh, Gary had his for about 3 years before he had to get a 7300. Now, are you deliberately excluding the highs from your transmission?
I don't know. I guess I should go into the menu after I sign and see what's going on.
But
how dare you, Al, be so prejudicial against highs?
I'm sorry?
I said, Al, how dare you be so prejudicial against the highs?
Got a problem, huh?
I guess it is.
Son of a gun.
I really think you should look into those hearing aids.
What?
You too, Jeff.
Yeah, he's the second one you complained about the highs being missing.
That's not the case, you mean?
That is often a hearing aid problem, when you lose the highs, yeah.
Well, let's see. My wife started telling me I needed hearing aids in about 1990.
Did you put them in finally?
No, God, no.
You refuse to wear them, I see.
How do they fix them? With a ball peen hammer?
It's a guy thing, and women have selective hearing, but they have hearing like bats there. You could say it 10 rooms away. You could whisper underneath your breath, and you'll hear down the hallway. I heard that.
Well, the wives don't understand that we're not listening. We shut off automatically.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. the late father-in-law here turned around and Mom was saying something. I go, Dad, Mom just said something. He goes, no, he's losing his hair. And I looked over and he put this little smirk on his face.
My mother made my father get hearing aids for their 60th wedding anniversary.
I refused to.
Well, luckily the wife and I have got the same exact hearing sensitivity, so no fighting over the television.
Did you say the wife?
Right.
Yeah, I notice a bunch of hams like to say the wife instead of my wife.
Well, she's still sleeping.
The wife of the day?
That implies the wife wears the pants out.
I'm not allowed to say that. She has a name.
Yeah, well, like I say, she's sleeping.
There you go.
The wife is?
The wife.
The wife, capital T.
Is it the wife or this wife?
In my case, this.
No, I had a brother-in-law that ruined it for me.
Remember when Hugh Hefner had the Wife of the Day Club? Well, those were called the good old days, Al. Remember when the Playboy Club, it was like a risque place to go, the way they were, the uniforms that they wore. And then it became an everyday sort of place. Yeah, now they wear them to school. But I'm not complaining. Well, thank you for the coax calculator, by the way, Anthony.
Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, that'll come in handy from time to time, especially if you got questions like what Richard presented. That'll give you a very quick answer.
That's very nice. Yeah, I appreciate it, Anthony.
Hey, Jeff, send me that, will you? I'm not on the group.
He was in the meat business for a long time, and he knew the owners, and we used to go and have a good time there. But, and then they got sold out to another group, and they really made well, I'm going to say make a mess of it there, and finally they closed down there. So yeah, it's kind of sad there, but anyway. And I didn't like the one in Saint-Sauveur too much. I always found them not to be as good as the one Saint Laurent, the original one. And then, of course,
this will pass real quick. So I got my table saws out, my chop saw stations out. I got my jig out there to do my pocket holes, and it's like frickin' snowed all day. Keep blowing off everything, wiping it off. Ugh, what a pain in the ass.
Yep, sorry, I had to fish out the foot switch. I've been doing so much CW, the foot switch is way in the back. Oh, well. Yeah, I've been playing in the Straight Key Century Club Straight Key Month and doing a lot of that. That's been fun. A couple hours I got to get on and become K3Y/1 myself for an hour or so.
Yes. Hey, what you figure? Obviously, you did. You figured out what was the issue you had last weekend.
Not sure. It fixed itself. Something went wacko, and I lost all audio. It wasn't the normal stuff that I had been. That's all fixed. But yeah, something. It just went away, and a little while later it came back. It was too late.
KC1FLY.
Good morning, Pete.
Hi, Pete.
Welcome aboard. Yeah, I come down. I figured I better start the heat out here. I fired it up a little after 6. It was 42 degrees in here. We got 66 now. Says only 20 outside. What you doing, Pete?
I'm doing pretty good, Dave. And Barry, that's the best I think best signal strength I've ever heard you at.
Yeah, I got the NVIS antenna on. I know that helps. The vertical works better for DX, but the inverted V works better for this.
Yep, that's for sure. A little nippy out your way, Pete?
Yeah, I really don't know what the outside temperature is. It's probably around 20-something. Nice and warm in the house. I did throw the heater on here in the shack just to warm it up a little bit, but it wasn't bad.
Unity Mountain aspires to be 20s.
Hey, yep, I got 20 here.
I'll send you one if you want.
Yeah, try it.
Not good. I know he thinks he's like a cool kid, but he'll get hurt one day. I'm sure there's a lot of guys who feel the same way you do and I do.
Yeah, see what happens.
He's a little cocky too.
I think he totally sucks.
I don't like him either. And that's what's holding him back. So the Jags lost?
Oh, I don't know. Probably presidential politics.
Touche.
I had the bird flu.
And then it resyncs up completely again and stays synced. And then, but I still don't get it.
What was that, Bill? Yes, it is.
To U.S. New Jersey Jensen Research Corporation.
I guess I could try to add it. Let me try adding one. I'm.google.com.
Yes.
So Anthony, you see my antenna results?
I did. I'm really surprised that you had so much trouble. That the best thing is doing nothing.
Isn't that amazing?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's all about the dongle, I guess.
Yeah.
I hate to tell you to spend more money, but why don't you try getting the one that I have and see what kind of results you get? But then again, the results that we're currently seeing comparatively is, I'm going to say the same, but I think I'm getting slightly further out.
You're getting slightly further north. I get slightly further south than you.
Yeah, well, that's all due to topography, but give it a try or just leave it alone. The hell with it.
Yeah, it's going to leave it alone, but it's just very interesting. Next thing is when I have some time is I want to put the spectrum analyzer on and see what it looks like.
Yeah. Did you add that in there, Jess? time.google.com?
I tried, but it doesn't seem to be using it.
No.
I haven't used this one in such a long time. However, it did synchronize with someplace in Hungary. That's wonderful.
Oh, nice.
Where did Nick go? Nick, are you with us?
Oh, yeah, I'm just listening.
Okay. You're not sleeping on us, are you?
No, I'm just perusing the internet.
All right.
Does everybody have tomorrow off?
Nope.
I'm sorry.
I have tomorrow off.
I'm sure.
Then again, every day. Nice not to pile into the car on a winter evening and go to work all the way to Hartford at 3 in the morning.
I didn't know Belden made two different RG8s. I wonder what the difference is. That maybe 9913 is variable. 213 is variable. I'm sorry? 213 is variable. Well, they don't list it. They only list Belden. Well, I can look at Wireman. Oh, it's an interesting thing here.
I got some RG8 that was made by Antenna Specialists, and it didn't have enough ground braid to put a connector on.
Well, that sounds like the Radio Shack garbage.
I never saw such we used to call it a wisp of braid.
Wow, that's useful, right?
Oh, God.
RG8 name only.
Why do you go to the trouble? Well, I guess copper's expensive. You go to the trouble of making a big, heavy cable like that. You got to put all those pieces together, and then you leave out the copper.
I couldn't believe it. I thought, Jesus, what'd they do? Make it without it?
Well, how else could it get like that?
What was that?
How else could it get like that?
That's how they designed it, evidently, and had somebody make it for them. But like I say, you could not put an end connector on there. There wasn't enough braid.
Does that change on here?
Yeah.
Morning, Ray.
Morning, gentlemen. DHCY. Just
Who are you calling, gentlemen?
Trying to figure out if my clock is out 1 second.
A pox upon you.
Pox on you and your family.
Good morning, Raymond.
Morning, Jess.
Good morning, Ray.
Morning, Ray.
Morning, Tom.
You running the amplifier, Ray?
the favorite.
Well, you're S9.
Anyway, you guys carry on here. Snow is flying in the air. It's winter time of year. God damn it. Let's go. Let's get back.
Good Lord, you're S4 in Nantucket, Ray.
Too bad. It's not great, but it's okay. DA3Y.
Bill was stronger than Ray this morning.
3 interceptions there in the first. The Chargers were kicking them, but then I guess they came back and won. So I guess we'll have to see what goes on there.
Yep, should be a good day. We'll see if Miami how Miami does with the Bills or vice versa.
Yep. Then tomorrow, Tommy against Dallas. Screw Dallas.
Well, we'll see. Tommy's good, but you never know if his team's going to show up. Same with Dak. So we'll see what goes on. All right. Back to you so we can continue the festivities. And it's just about 8 o'clock.
That it is. 53, 55, 56. Close enough. Barry, I'll turn it over to you. You're going to hand it over to Pete. Unity Mountain Radio, NF10. Go right ahead.
Okay. Well, went down to HRO yesterday. That wasn't a big part of the plan. We had to go to my son's house in Atkinson. That's right next to Salem. So we went to HRO long enough to barbecue beer place next door open up. So went there for lunch. And came back here and had a pretty good trip, although the roads were
Yeah, that's factory. Well, yeah, they clean the when I had
Usually the first day it hit 0, the people get together and the big girls go out and cut a hole in the ice and go skinny dipping. We call it the moon over Maine.
Well, I think you probably have different traditions.
So that and running around and playing. I tell you what, Dick, it really is hard getting older, and I say that as the young guy in the group. But growing up, we would be climbing trees and out in the woods and just enjoying everything.
I know it. I was watching the video. Okay.
Tom, QTH, Bel Air, Maryland.
If I remember correctly, that was an electronics something or other.
Yeah, there was electronic divisions. The one on the Southfield Service Drive and
KB3ZNL. Take it, Jim.
Okay, brother. It sounds like the band.
Waiting for the family, for my dad to blow the whistle, kind of like whistle time to come in at sundown and do that. Now I'm like, oh man, allergy attacks. What is this stuff? I'll send it back to you, Dick. Good morning. WA2SDS, KD2VWC.
KD2VWC, WA2SDS. Okay, rollerblades. Well, I didn't have those when I was a kid and grew up, so I'm telling my age here. And